Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Valsa Williams and with me is Renuka RS with the evening news. The headlines. Defence Minister calls for seamless implementation of centrally sponsored schemes in cantonment areas. NIA files charge sheet in Pulwama terror attack case. Punjab National Bank receives 24.33 crore as first tranche of recoveries in fugitive Nirav Modi case. COVID situation provides a unique opportunity for cooperation between government, regulators and industry, says Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Over 24 lakh people recovered from COVID-19 in the country so far. Recovery rate further improves to 76%. And government allows free export of PPE, medical coveralls of all categories, face shields and masks. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has called for seamless implementation of centrally sponsored schemes in cantonment areas. The minister said this while addressing a webinar to improve implementation of centrally sponsored schemes in 62 cantonments around the country. Citing welfare schemes like Ayushman Bharat, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Smart Cities Mission and Midday Meal Scheme for school children, the Defence Minister said there should be no gaps in implementation of these welfare schemes in cantonment areas. He also highlighted the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative of Ministry of Defence, such as bringing out an import negative list. The Defence Minister also launched the Chhavni COVID Yodha Sanrakshan Yojana, a group life insurance scheme through Life Insurance Corporation. This will cover more than 10,000 employees in all 62 cantonment boards in the event of any unfortunate fatal calamity with an insurance cover of 5 lakh rupees each. The scheme will benefit permanent and contractual employees, including doctors, paramedics and sanitation staff. In Jammu and Kashmir, the National Investigation Agency NIA today filed a charge sheet in the February 2019 Pulwama terror attack case. The agency has named 19 people for carrying out the attack at Pakistan's behest. The 13,500-page charge sheet was filed before a special NIA court in Jammu. More from our correspondent.
Jaish Chief Maulana Masood Azhar, his brothers Abdur Rauf Asghar and Amir Alvi and nephew Umar Farooq are among those named in the charge sheet by the agency. The charge sheet also names people who were arrested from Pulwama for providing shelter and shooting the last video of Adil Dar, the suicide bomber who used around 200 kgs of explosive in the vehicle that rammed into the CRPF convoy near Lithpura in South Kashmir. The blind case was solved by the NIA after piecing together electronic evidences and statements of terrorists arrested in different cases. N. Gulshan Rana for AIR News, Jammu.
Assam has been declared as disturbed area for another 6 months with effect from 28th of this month. An official release issued in Guwahati said that the decision has been taken under the Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958. The decision was taken in view of the attacks on security forces by militants during the last 6 months in the northeast and recovery of illegal arms in Assam. The death toll in the Mahad building collapse has increased to 12, with NDRF recovering 11 more bodies from the site this afternoon. With nightfall and more than 24 hours after the tragic collapse, hopes of survival of at least 6 people who remain missing is getting dim. The 5-story Tariq Garden in Maharashtra's Mahad district had collapsed like a pack of cards yesterday evening. The NDRF and local police are working relentlessly, using dog squads and 13 heavy-duty excavators to rescue people trapped under the debris. 8 people have been rescued from the site so far, including a 4-year-old boy who was miraculously rescued. The joy was short-lived as the lifeless body of his 30-year-old mother and 2 sisters were recovered soon thereafter. Maharashtra's Relief and Rehabilitation Minister Vijay Vadetiwar visited the site this evening and announced an ex gratia of 5 lakh rupees each for the families of the deceased. He added that financial assistance of up to 50,000 will be provided to the injured. Stating that the construction material used was of very poor quality, Mr. Vadetiwar said the guilty will be brought to book. Earlier today, a case was registered against 5 persons, including the builder Farooq Qazi, RCC consultant Bahubali Dhamne, and architect Gaurav Shah under sections 304, 304A and 338 of the IPC.
In Gujarat, a fire broke out in the ICU unit of the Guru Gobind Singh Government Hospital in Jamnagar this afternoon. All the patients were evacuated from the ICU unit to another hospital. The firefighters were rushed to the spot immediately to control the fire. Jamnagar District Collector and Municipal Commissioner also rushed to the hospital after the incident. According to sources, there is no report of any casualty in this fire incident. The cause of the fire is yet to be known. Punjab National Bank has received the first tranche of recoveries amounting to 24 crore 33 lakh rupees in the fugitive Nirav Modi case related to the bank fraud case. The bank informed this to Ministry of Corporate Affairs, which spearheaded the corporate governance litigation in a foreign jurisdictional court. Additionally, over 82 crores are also available to be received by creditors, including PNB, after liquidation of the debtors' assets. The ministry said this is an unprecedented achievement of the Government of India in its fight against corporate fraud in overseas territory. The ministry has also initiated proceedings for disgorgement of money from the perpetrators, the entities promoted and controlled by Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi. In 2018, Punjab National Bank Limited had informed the Ministry of Corporate Affairs that 3 companies promoted by Nirav Modi had filed for bankruptcy protection in the Southern District of New York, United States of America. The bank requested the ministry to support and join the bankruptcy proceedings in New York, USA, in order to help PNB realize its claims in the debtors' assets.
Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises MSME Secretary A.K. Sharma said today over 3 lakh enterprises have registered in nearly 2 months through the new registration process on the Udayam portal. He said that the process for registration of the MSMEs through the government website is absolutely free and cautioned the public not to fall prey to fake websites. Speaking at a webinar organized by the Confederation of Indian Industry, CII, Mr. Sharma said private equity funds and venture capital funds will be invited soon. He said for this purpose, a fund of funds with a corpus of 10,000 crore rupees is to be set up to provide equity funding for MSMEs with growth potential and viability. The Fund of Funds scheme is intended to help those businesses who are in their nascent stage, also where there are almost no prospects to raise funds through the help of professional corporations or venture capitalists. The Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority, APEDA, is engaged with the state governments for the implementation of agri-export policy. Several states, including Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh and Kerala, have also finalized the action plan for the implementation of the policy. APEDA today signed MOUs with AFC India Limited and National Cooperative Union of India NCUI Delhi to utilize their expertise in the agri-sector. The agriculture export policy was framed with a focus on agriculture export-oriented production, promotion of outbound shipments, better price realization to farmer, and synchronization within policies and programs of the central government.
The Shipping Ministry has facilitated more than 1 lakh crew change on Indian ports and through charter flights. It is the highest number of crew changes in the world. Crew change consists of replacing one of the ship's crew members with another one and involves sign-on the ships and sign-off the ship's procedures. The ministry said the maritime sector is amongst the worst hit sectors due to the pandemic. Despite that, all the Indian ports were operational and provided essential services throughout the pandemic. Shipping Minister Mansukh Mandavia has instructed DG Shipping to come up with a robust grievance redressal mechanism to facilitate the seafarers. He has emphasized to ensure that seafarers should be able to approach the ministry during the difficult time and no seafarer should suffer due to poor grievance redressal system. DG Shipping Amit Kumar said to sustain the maritime transportation during the pandemic, it has taken various initiatives like extension of various certificates required for sailing and online e-pass facility for travel. An online utility has been created for verification of seafarers for charter flights and for uploading details of stranded seafarers along with online ship registration and online charter licensing. The government has extended the last date for receiving expression of interest in the disinvestment case of Air India till the 30th of October this year. The decision has been taken in view of requests received from the interested bidders and the prevailing situation arising out of COVID-19. This is the fourth time that the dates for the national carrier's disinvestment process, which began in January this year, have been pushed.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that the COVID situation provides a unique opportunity for establishing exemplary cooperation between the government, regulators and the industry in the country. Addressing a gathering of industrialists and other participants during a virtual function organized by the Confederation of Indian Industry today, Ms. Sitharaman asserted that every announcement the government has made to overcome the COVID situation in the country had a structural reform component with it. She said the government is reaching out to the industry to understand their concerns. The Finance Minister also stressed on the need to move fast on cabinet-cleared disinvestments and added that the government is working with RBI to ensure adequate support to the banks in the country. She added some sectors such as tourism, real estate, hospitality and airlines have been affected disproportionately due to the pandemic. Ms. Sitharaman informed that curative steps have been taken and the hospitality industry will soon emerge out from the effects of the slowdown. The Khadi and Village Industries Commission KVIC has taken a big leap towards Atmanirbhar Bharat by creating local employment for migrant workers through its flagship Honey Mission program. Minister of State for MSME Pratap Chandra Sarangi today distributed 700 bee boxes to 70 migrant workers of Saharanpur and Bulandshahr districts of Uttar Pradesh. They had returned to their hometown from Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat due to the COVID-19 induced lockdown. The KVIC has imparted them training on beekeeping and provided the necessary toolkit and bee boxes to them to carry out beekeeping activities. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Sarangi lauded the initiative, saying it will contribute in increasing India's honey production, which is the core objective of Honey Mission. He said creating employment for migrant workers at their doorsteps will make them self-reliant. The ministry said KVIC has distributed 135,000 bee boxes so far in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam and Tripura. This has benefited around 13,500 people across the country.
The Karnataka Industry Department has invited global toy makers to set up their manufacturing units in the toy manufacturing cluster situated in Koppal in North Karnataka. The cluster is said to be the first of its kind in India. The Industry Department held a webinar yesterday with a panel of leading toys manufacturers on establishing India as a global toy manufacturing hub in line with the Prime Minister's call to promote Vocal for Local under the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign. The Principal Secretary in the Commerce and Industries Department, Gaurav Gupta, said Karnataka offers world-class machine tools infrastructure and favourable labour laws for the toy manufacturers. Karnataka is the third largest market for toys in India, holding 9.1% share, and the toy industry in the state is expected to reach $310 million by 2023.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Defence Minister calls for seamless implementation of centrally sponsored schemes in cantonment areas. NIA 5-star sheet in Pulwama terror attack case. Punjab National Bank receives 24.33 crore as the first tranche of recoveries in fugitive Nirav Modi case. COVID situation provides a unique opportunity for cooperation between the government, regulators and industry, says Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Over 24 lakh people recovered from COVID-19 in the country so far. Recovery rate further improves to 76%. And government allows free export of PPE medical coveralls of all categories, face shields and masks. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
India is continuously stepping up its COVID testing capacity. In the last 24 hours, more than 9,25,000 samples were tested, taking the cumulative testing numbers till date to 3,68,27,520. The positivity rate continues to decline despite increased testing and stands at a weekly average of around 8%. tests done per million of the population in the country has also scaled a new peak of over 26,000, the Indian Council of Medical Research Director General Balram Bhargav, in a press briefing today, informed that the remarkable feat has been achieved by rigorously following the test, track and treat strategy. He said early identification through testing, surveillance and contact tracing, along with focus on timely and appropriate clinical treatment of COVID-19 patients, has ensured that only a small proportion of active cases require ventilator support. Mr. Bhargav said the indigenous production of testing kits in the country has brought down the cost incurred on single RT-PCR test.
In March, the RT-PCR extraction kit was costing about 1,150 rupees, with the VTM and the RNA extraction kit costing 320 rupees each. So if you add 1,200 plus 600 or 700, so it would be about 2,000 rupees just the kits at that point in time. And this has come crashing down over the few months with indigenous kits being available. And once the indigenous kits are available, the international kits also reduce their costs to match them. And at this moment, the RT-PCR kit is available for 138 rupees, and the VTM as well as the RNA extraction kits are available for 90 rupees each.
He said the week-wise average daily tests conducted has witnessed a sharp increase from around 2.3 lakh in the first week of July 2020 to over 8 lakh in the current week. Mr. Bhargav informed that the strong determinant of this milestone has been a sustained expansion of testing labs across the country. From merely one lab in January this year, the country today has 1,524 labs. Out of these, 986 are government labs, while the remaining 538 are private. The recovery rate of COVID-19 patients continues its upward streak and has reached around 76% today. Addressing a media briefing in the capital, Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan said, with sustained preemptive and timely interventions, over 24 lakh people in the country have successfully recovered from COVID-19. India registered record number of recoveries of over 66,000 patients in the last 24 hours.
जो रिकवर्ड पेशेंट्स हैं, मरीज हैं, उनकी संख्या 24 लाख से ज्यादा हो गई है और वो आज की तिथि में जो एक्टिव केसेस हैं उनके 3 गुना से भी ज्यादा हैं, लगभग 3.5 गुना है, 3.4 टाइम्स ऑफ एक्टिव केसेस. रिकवरी रेट इस समय 75% से अधिक हो गया है. इसकी वजह से जो एक्टिव केस हैं वो कुल केसेस के मात्र 22% रह गए हैं.
He informed that out of the total active corona cases in the country, only 0.29% are on ventilators, whereas nearly 2% of the total patients are in ICU. A report.
The number of recovered patients as on today in the country is almost 3.5 times the number of active cases. There has been more than 100% hike in the recoveries in the last 25 days. The case fatality rate also continues to show steady decline and now stands at 1.84%. Nearly 30 states and union territories in the country have even lower fatality rate than the national average. The Health Ministry said that over 60,000 new cases of COVID-19 have been registered in the country in the past 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 31,67,324. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 7,04,348. In a single day, 848 deaths have also been reported, taking the toll to 58,390. Anand Chaturvedi, AIR News, Delhi.
The Commerce Ministry has amended its export policy for personal protection equipment, PPE, and masks today. Under the new policy, PPE medical coveralls of all categories are allowed to be freely exported from the country. Face shields and masks except N95 and FFP2 have also been put under the list of freely exportable commodities. Medical goggles can be exported with a restriction of an upper ceiling of 20 lakh units per month, whereas N95 and FFP2 masks can be exported up to 50 lakh units a month. In Assam, 20 lakh COVID tests have been conducted by the Health Department so far. Health Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said that starting from one laboratory in February, Assam now has 17 laboratories. He said that Assam has conducted 58,356 tests per million.
Punjab Industries and Commerce Minister Sundar Sham Arora and 2 legislators from Patiala district tested positive for coronavirus today ahead of one-day assembly session on August the 28th. He is the 4th cabinet minister who has tested positive for COVID-19. He has been quarantined in his official residence at Chandigarh. In a tweet this afternoon mentioning his health status, he has appealed to all who came in contact with him during the last few days to go for COVID testing. Earlier, Rajpura MLA Hardyal Singh Kamboj and SAD MLA from Sanor, Harinder Pal Singh Chandu Majra, were found coronavirus positive. In Puducherry, for the first time, 571 new coronavirus positive cases were reported in a single day. 331 people were discharged and 8 persons succumbed to the virus. Presently, 1,907 persons are being treated and 2,074 corona-positive persons are under home isolation. So far, 11,426 persons have been infected by the virus, of which 7,273 have been discharged after treatment, while 172 people have died. Presently, there are 3,981 active cases in the Union Territory.
The Uttar Pradesh government have ordered a complete ban on organizing any cultural and religious meeting in the state till 30th September in the wake of the pandemic and to maintain the law and order. AIR news correspondent reports that on Sunday, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath had said that there should be a complete ban on organizing any cultural and religious meeting in the state in the wake of the pandemic. Additional Chief Secretary Home Avinash Kumar Avasthi has issued an order in this regard, banning all kinds of processions and tableau. Talking to AIR News, Avinash Avasthi said that the protocol needs to be adhered to at every cost. The assembly of more than 5 people at one place has been banned. According to the order, this prohibition has been imposed in the state because it is feared that anti-social elements may try to disturb the law and order and communal harmony. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed deep grief over the demise of Dong King of Varanasi, Jagdish Chaudhary. He said Mr. Chaudhary was a staunch believer of the rich culture of Kashi and was an active participant of the Sanatan tradition in the city. The Prime Minister also remembered his work for social harmony. He prayed for peace of the departed soul and strength to his family to bear the loss.
A direct intervention by the Prime Minister's office has ensured that a young girl in Maharashtra does not miss her online lectures due to network connectivity issues. Days after the plight of Swapnali Sutar, a resident of Dariste village in Sindhudurg district, was reported by AIR News and Doordarshan, the Prime Minister's office intervened to resolve the issue. Details from our Mumbai correspondent.
In his Independence Day speech this year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had said that every village in India will get an optical fiber internet within the next 1,000 days. Little did Swapnali Sutar know that it could be a reality and a remote village would have an internet connection soon. Stuck in a village due to the lockdown and with no internet connectivity, Swapnali was unable to attend online classes conducted by the Mumbai Veterinary College. Determined to overcome this obstacle, her brothers helped her to build a shed atop a hill that was 2 kilometers away from home so that her mobile could catch the signal and enable her to study uninterrupted. With the local and national media catching a sniff of her resolve, her story was flashed across channels, catching the eye of the Prime Minister's office. And within a week, officials of the Ministry of Electronics and IT and BharatNet reached the Dariste village, laid the required cables through the Gram Panchayat straight to Swapnali's home. Thanking the media and government for their swift action, Swapnali said she can now study inside the safety of her home. With Nilesh Joshi, this is Nisha Rani, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Gujarat, the Ganesh festival is a low-key affair this year due to the pandemic. Lord Ganesh will finish the demon of coronavirus very soon is the main theme of this year's Ganesh festival. More from our correspondent.
Ganesh festival celebrations in Gujarat is always with big pandals, large processions and loud musical orchestra. However, there is no public celebration this year due to COVID-19. As the festival is celebrated every year with a different theme, this year the main theme is Lord Ganesh will finish the demon coronavirus. Khodiyar Yuvak Mandal of Vadodara has made Ganesh idol that is killing coronavirus with Trishul. Ganesh Bal Yuvak Mandal of the city has dedicated the Ganesh festival theme to the frontline corona warriors. Another pandal in Manjalpur area of Vadodara has made a theme in which Lord Ganesh is urging citizens to wear a face mask and follow the social distancing. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
A national traditional paddy cultivation festival was held today in Nagapattinam, right at the heartland of the Kaveri Delta region in Tamil Nadu. More than 110 national traditional paddy varieties were exhibited in the day-long festival. Outdoor practical sessions of traditional paddy cultivation techniques were another attraction of the festival. Traditional farmers, modern agriculturalists, agriculture scientists and environment protection volunteers took part in the festival. Farmers were given information about the specific characteristics and advantages of various kinds of traditional varieties. Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa conducted aerial survey of rain and flood affected areas of Belagavi and Bagalkot districts today. Speaking to media persons at Sambra Airport in Belagavi, he said that a comprehensive assessment of damages and losses due to excessive rain and flood will be done, after which he will seek suitable compensation from the central government. More from our correspondent.
Chief Minister Yediyurappa has said that he will hold a meeting in Bengaluru about the flood situation in Belagavi, Dharwad and Bagalkot districts and work out mechanism to release funds to compensate those affected by rain and flood. He also said that water resources officials have been told to take necessary steps to prevent flooding after Maharashtra releases water from their dams. He asked them to establish communication with their counterparts there. He also informed that villages prone to flooding on the banks of Krishna will be shifted to safer places. He also said that officials have been directed to take up relief and rehabilitation efforts using NDRF funds. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Several parts of Odisha, including capital Bhubaneswar, have been experiencing moderate to heavy rainfall over the last 24 hours. As a result of the well-marked low-pressure area over North Bay of Bengal, rainfall is likely to intensify in the next 48 hours as per the evening bulletin released by the Met Department today. A report.
The red warning indicating heavy to extremely heavy rainfall has been issued for as many as 9 districts of Odisha for the next 24 hours. The districts are Baleshwar, Bhadrak, Jajpur, Kendrapada, Jagatsinghpur, Cuttack, Keonjhar, Mayurbhanj and Dhengana. Red warning has also been sounded for another batch of 10 districts for thaw rain, including many districts of western Odisha. Apart from these, all other districts have been alerted with an orange or yellow warning, forecasting rainfall of varying degree. Consequent upon the possibility of squally weather with wind speed from 45 to 55 kilometers per hour, both along and off the Odisha coast, fishermen have been advised against venturing into the sea till the next Thursday. Girish Chandra Das, Bhubaneswar.
A look now at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have thunderstorm with rain. It will have a minimum temperature of around 26 degrees Celsius, maximum of 35 degrees. Mumbai will see generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature will be 25 degrees, maximum will be around 31 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Temperature will hover between 27 and 35 degrees. Kolkata will see generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature in the metropolis will be around 25 degrees while maximum will be 29. On to the north in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Minimum temperature will be 25 degrees in Jammu while maximum will be around 32. The city will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. In Srinagar, minimum temperature will be around 20 degrees while maximum will be 28. The city will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Ladakh will have a partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. The temperature will hover between 18 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, temperature will hover between 18 and 34 degrees. It will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. In Muzaffarabad, there will be generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The temperature will hover between 21 and 33 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, temperature will hover between 24 and 32 degrees. The city will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. In Chandigarh, there will be generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Defence Minister calls for seamless implementation of centrally sponsored schemes in cantonment areas. NIA files charge sheet in Pulwama terror attack case. Punjab National Bank receives 24.33 crore as first tranche of recoveries in fugitive Nirav Modi case. COVID situation provides a unique opportunity for cooperation between government, regulators and industry, says Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Over 24 lakh people recovered from COVID-19 in the country so far. Recovery rate further improves to 76%. And government allows free export of PPE, medical coveralls of all categories, face shields and masks. And with that we end the evening news. Good night.